Good morning, Sherry. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good morning, TJ and Lanny. Actually, is it good afternoon over in the UK? Is it afternoon over there?
He says 4 p.m.
4 p.m. and yeah, that's what I thought it was afternoon in the UK. Okay. All right, let's get started. Let's open with a word of prayer. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Shabbat service of the Vero Essene Yahad. We are glad to have you with us this week. Hope you had a wonderful week, and we just give thanks to Yahweh for allowing us to see another one. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for your told to us on today. We thank you for another day that you have made, a day in which we will rejoice and be glad in it. Abba, we thank you for bringing us through the past week. We ask, Abba, that as we come into your presence with thanksgiving in our heart, Abba, that all those things and all those missteps of those misevents of the past week, that you would just shred us of those things, that you would just take them and put them in the sea of forgetfulness and allow us to start afresh as we come and receive from your throne. Abba, fill us with the living waters, the true waters that flow from your throne. Cleanse us of all unrighteousness. Cleanse us of all those hurts and pains, and help us to be better people. Abba, as we come before you this morning with our offering of service, we ask, Father, that you receive the sacrifice of our praise, the fruit of our lips, and that you would cleanse us and help us to be who you've called us to be. Abba, we ask that you bless the people that are going to be bringing the word, the people that are going to be doing the liturgy on today. And we ask that it be edifying and strengthening to all of your people. It seems like this past week has been an interesting week for believers in the Yahad. But I thank you and I give you praise. I will be careful to give you all the praise, all the honor, and all the glory. Amen. Amen. Hazen?
We hear the meditation. Our Father Yahweh tells us, keep justice and do right, for soon Yeshua T, my salvation, will come, and my deliverance will be revealed. Blessed is the one who holds this fast, who keeps the Shabbat, not profaning it, and keeps his hand from doing any evil. Let not the joined stranger say, Yahweh will surely cull me out of his people. Let not the maimed say, I am a dry tree. For Yahweh says, to all those who keep my Shabbatot, who choose the things that please me and hold fast my covenant, I will give a name better than sons and daughters, an everlasting name, even strangers who join themselves to minister to Yahweh and love my name, everyone who keeps the Shabbat and holds fast my covenant, these I will bring to my set-apart mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer, for mine will be a house of prayer for all peoples. We bless Yahweh and hear the Kol Shofar.
Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lishmoa kol shofar. Amen.
Blessed are you, Yahweh our Elohim, sovereign of the universe, sanctifies us by your mitzvot and calls us to hear the Kol Shofar. We bless Messiah.
Baruch atah Yahweh Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu et derech haYeshua b'Moshiach Yeshua. Amen.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, our Elohim, sovereign of the universe, who has given us the way of escape in Messiah Yeshua. Amen.
Ushaftim chaim mayim besason mimayne hayeshua.
So with joy we draw living water from the springs of deliverance. We bless each other. On that day, Jacob blessed his grandchildren, and he said, in time to come, the people of Israel will use you as a blessing. They will say, may Elohim make you like Ephraim and Manasseh, for men and boys.
Yisimcha Elohim ki Ephraim v'chi Manasseh.
May Elohim make you like Ephraim and Manasseh, for women and girls.
Yisamech Elohim ki Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah.
May Elohim make you like Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah.
Yivarechecha Elohim v'yishmerecha. Yael Elohim panav elecha v'yihunecha. Yisa Elohim panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May Elohim bless you and watch over you. May Elohim shine his face toward you and show you favor. May Elohim be favorably disposed towards you and grant you peace. We enter the set-apart home.
Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Yisrael ve'ani berov chazdecha avo betecha eshtachave el hechol Kadshecha v'yiratecha. Yahweh ahafti me'on betecha u'makom mishkan kevodecha ve'ani eshtachave ve'avrecha evrecha lifnei Yahweh osi ve'ani tafilati lecha Yahweh et ratzon. Elohim berav chazdecha, aneni be'emet yishecha.
How lovely are your tents, O Yaakov, your dwelling places, Israel. Through your abundant favor we will enter your home. In awe we will bow down within your set-apart sanctuary. We love the house you live in and the place where your radiance resides. We will fall and bow, bending the knee before Yahweh our Maker. May our prayers to you be at the appropriate time. In your abundant righteousness, answer us with the truth of your rescue. We favor kin and Talmudim. May it be your will, Yahweh our Elohim, the Elohim of our foreparents, that you show favor to us and to all our friends and relations, and that you grant us and all in Israel good and long life, that you remember us with good thoughts and blessings, that you consider us with your salvation and your compassion, that you bless us with great gifts and favors, that you make our households complete, that you cause your presence to dwell among us at all times. Privilege us to train up our youth, proselytes, disciples, and all Talmudim in wisdom, understanding, in loving and revering Yahweh, in belonging to Yeshua, the Anointed One, and being committed to Him. Let the people of truth set apart for Yahweh to illuminate the world with Torah and Tov Mitzvot, doing all in the service of Yahweh. Hear our supplication right now and give us the same favor as our spiritual mothers and fathers. Cause our light to shine as a reflection of your face for all ages, so that all Israel might be saved. Amen. We recite the Shema and V'ahavta.
Shema Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed.
Hear, O Israel, Yahweh is our Elohim, Yahweh is one. Blessed is the name of his esteemed kingdom forever.
Amen. Ve'ahavta et Yahweh Elohecha, b'chol lavavcha, u'b'chol nafshecha, u'b'chol me'odecha. Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. V'chayu ha'devarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavcha chayom al avavecha v'shirantam lebenecha v'dibartaram v'shivtecha bivatecha uvelechtecha baderech ubeshochvecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein enecha uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha.
And you will love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might, and you will love your neighbor as yourself. Let these words that I command you this day be upon your heart. You will teach them diligently to your children and speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk upon the path, when you retire, and when you arise. And you will bind them for a sign upon your hand, and let them be frontlets between your eyes, and you will write them on the doors and gates of your house. We bless the blessed, Barku.
Baruch et Yahweh hamevorach. Baruch Yahweh hamevorach leolam va'ed.
Bless Yahweh the Blessed One. Blessed is Yahweh the Blessed One for all eternity. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it set apart. 6 days you will labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is the Shabbat of Yahweh your Elohim. In it you will not do any work. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heaven and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. That is why Yahweh blessed the 7th day and set it apart. Speak also unto the children of Israel, saying, Above all my Shabbatot you will keep, for this is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, so that you may know that I am Yahweh who sanctifies you. The Israelites are to observe the Shabbat, celebrating it for the generations to come as an enduring covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever, for in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, and on the 7th day he abstained from work and rested. And it will come to pass that from one new month to another, and from one Shabbat to another, all flesh will come to worship before me, says Yahweh. We minister shalom. Shalom aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barchuni leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom be yours, ministering Malachim, Malachim of the El Elyon, coming forth from the sovereign of sovereigns, the set-apart one. Blessed is he. May your coming forth be in shalom, Malachim of shalom, Malachim of the Most High, coming forth from the King of Kings, the set-apart one. Blessed is he. Bless us with shalom, Malachim of shalom, Malachim of the Most High, coming forth from the King of Kings, the set-apart one. Blessed is he. We give thanks and praise.
Are there any prayers that people would like to voice? Any praise reports that people would like to give? Well, we want to lift up Dr. Snyder. We also want to lift up anybody who needs prayers for healing, for wisdom, for understanding. For Yahweh says, or Yaakov says, that if you ask Yahweh for wisdom for anything, believing that he'll give it, it will be given. That is our prayer today, that Father Yahweh would give us the wisdom and understanding, the healing in body, mind, and spirit that we would need to do his work, to do his will, to do things that he wants us to do, things that he's asked us to do, and some things that we want to do. Yeah, Father Yahweh, may you do these things that I have stated. Heal those who are sick, heal those who need a touch in the mind, body, and spirit, so that we might do the things that you desire us to do, and some things that we want to do, as long as they are your will and in your will, Father. In Yahshua's mighty name I pray. Amen.
We hear the word and testimony. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Yah, our strength and our Redeemer. The words of the prophet. Whenever the ark set out, Moshe said, "Arise, O Yah, and let your enemies be scattered, and let them that hate you flee from before you."
Amen. Before we ask the teacher to come, I'm going to ask that everybody would go on mute, put your microphones on mute, so that there's not any distraction, because we do put our services on Hebrew Nation Radio, and we do put it on other social media outlets. So we want our audio to be have as much quality as possible. So if you'll go on mute at this time, I would greatly appreciate it. Elder Liz McGee from Connecticut, bring that Tov Devar forth.
Hi, I guess I'm here. Well, blessings, and let me just do this. Yes, blessings from Connecticut. I have to say that today is a good day. It has been a rough week. A lot of prayer, a lot of warfare going on, but as I said last night at a party with parting comments, the sun is out and the sky is blue, and the dark clouds have gone. It is such a wonderful day. So I wanted to, I have a teaching or a preaching today, and I have a title. It is called "Give the Lord a Hand Clap," because that's what I really feel like doing today. So maybe you'll want to clap with me. But sometimes it's really hard, and I do this a lot. The concept of you just lose the forest through the trees. And I think, I know I'm guilty of this. We all are. Sometimes we lose our way. We just lose the grand design of this great drama that we're in. I know I tend to get so focused on my little piece, my little part, my life, and what's going on in it. And I forget that Yahweh is doing this incredible drama, such a mighty work in all the earth, that he says when it's revealed and shown, it is going to give him more glory than anything that he's ever done. So I just kind of went back to a lot of I did read the lexicon readings for today, and all the verses that were kind of connected on this thing of sort of the Gentiles. And it made me think again of what a great work Yahweh is doing in the earth. And we're all part of this drama. And so I was going to read, I picked Genesis 17:1 as my starting off verse, which is so familiar to everyone, but I'll just read that when Abraham, this is the beginning of part of the greatest drama that we are all involved in. It says, when Abraham was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to Abraham and said, "I am your Yahweh Elohim. Walk before me and be blameless. And I will make a covenant between me and you and multiply you greatly." Then Abraham fell on his face, and Elohim said to him, "Behold, my covenant is with you, and you shall be the father of a multitude of nations. No longer shall your name be called Abram, but you shall be called Abraham. For I have made you the father of a multitude of nations. I will make you exceedingly fruitful, and I will make you into nations, and kings shall come from you. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your offspring, and you after you throughout their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be Elohim to you and to be Elohim to their offspring, to your offspring after you." And down in verse 15, lest we forget, our mother, as for Sarah, your wife, you shall not call her Sarai, but Sarah, and shall be her name and I will bless her. And moreover, I will give you a son by her. I will bless her, and she will become the mother of nations. Kings of peoples shall come from her. So reading that again and just knowing that this is going on. And I just wanted to kind of say that at the beginning, when I first kind of started to get on this journey that I'm on now, actually, I want to just screen share something really quick. How do I do this? Let me see if I can figure this out here. Can you see that? I did it right? There is this verse. It says, so, which is my theme verse, so will my word be which goes forth from my mouth, Elohim says. It will not return to me empty, without accomplishing what I desire, and without succeeding in the matter for which I sent it. For you, and that's us, we will go forth with joy, and we will be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills will break forth into shouts of joy before you. All the trees of the field will clap their hands. And this is what I learned, that we are the mountains and the hills, because this is what I'm really into, is the mysteries. That is that the mountains are men and hills are women. This is kind of one of the encoded, encrypted, apocryphal ways that the prophets use these words. And trees, we are the trees of his forest. We're the planting of the Lord for the display of his splendor, and we will clap our hands. So one of the things that I did a lot of when I was first saved, how do I turn my screen share off? Oh, I'm so sorry. Was I would walk around my house and I would start clapping my hands. I would just give the Lord a hand clap, because the things that he was showing me, one of the, I am just technically, by my personality type especially, I'm a generalist. I like the big picture. I like to have a wide array of understanding. I like all of the scriptures. I like varied and unspecified. I'm a very lateral thinker. I like to dig 10 holes at the same time. I like to have 10 rabbit trails going all at the same time. Drives my husband and many other people crazy, but that's the way it is. But I like to have, and I have been developing this quote unquote like theory of everything. That's sort of what I'm about. But I have learned that you can't, to be a generalist, you have to be a specialist in the word of Yahweh, in the Torah. So I have learned to slow down, to take the time, and to master the details. Because it is all about, it's a battle of the details. Our propaganda war is mostly in the details. So I have learned to study deeply the details of this thing, at the same time trying to keep the big picture and be the generalist of this. But two things that have really been helping me lately in my studies is that I've done a whole series on angels. I did a boot camp. And I know Dr. Schneider put them on the Jackson Snyder Presents. I mean, they're out there and you can listen to them. And if you're interested, I would encourage it, because it has helped me so much to understand that, first of all, this drama is so much bigger. It's multi-galactic. It's multi-dimensional. We are in this war and this drama and play out with many living beings that Yahweh has created that are part of this. And it has really helped me to understand the different levels that the text is written on, and has helped me to understand a lot of stuff that's happened to me personally in my life, and what other people's stories are, and what is going on in a much larger level. So, and also that there was a verse that the first verse that I had that the Lord gave me years ago, 25 years ago, which I just would, through the years, I would look at it and I would go, this verse, for some people have, it just always popped out at me, and I knew there was something significant in it. And Moses is supposed to tell Pharaoh that Israel is mine, even my firstborn. And I'm like, I really, one day, I told this story, I sat down one day, I said, you know what? I really have no clue who Israel really is. I don't know. What's a firstborn? I mean, those are not really evangelical terms. And I was like, I don't really know what that means. So I started to research it, and one day I got up off the computer that day after about 14 or 15 hours, and I was like a different person, because Yahweh really taught me who Israel is and the firstborn, and it's never been the same. So this is part of the grand drama. His word is being played out, and really, what would you say? Maybe 90% of the world doesn't even really know. They're really clueless to what is the big picture, what is really going on. You know, I love I'm a Christian. Well, you know, I don't think we should be hard on people, but I was once there and now I'm here. And it's so sad that most don't even know this, the real word that's being played out in front of us on the drama of the world. So anyways, in Ezekiel 36, very common. Well, just to bring up Paul for a quick second, I always go back to, as I said, the details of the thing. You have these different people groups. You have the Jew, the Gentile, and you have the church of Yahweh, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So, you kind of have to keep straight who's who and what arena Yahweh's working in and what their storyline is. And if you kind of mix all that together, you can get lost pretty fast. But either way, in Ezekiel 36:22, very familiar to all of us. I'm sure this has been a great blessing to us to know that, therefore says Yahweh to the house of Israel, that we are really the house of Israel coming back to Yahweh, just like he said he was, that he would do to us. And he said, he says to the Lord, thus says Yahweh Elohim, it is not for your sake, O house of Israel, trust me, that I am about to act, but for my name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations where you went. I will vindicate the holiness of my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. Then the nations will know that I am Elohim, declares Yahweh Elohim, when I prove myself holy among you in their sight. There's so much to this understanding, but that it struck me because the nations really is the word Gentiles. It's kind of all the same. But that he's doing this great work that is being played out of drama, and it involves all the nations. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And he says he will take us from the nations, gather us from all the lands. He will sprinkle clean water on us. He will make us clean. He will cleanse us from all our filthiness, from all our idols. He will put a new heart and a new spirit in us, and he will remove the heart of stone and will give us a heart of flesh. He will put our spirit within us and cause us to walk in his statutes and observe his commandments. I mean, this is so being played out and going on. And it says in Psalm 98:2, it says, the Lord has made known his salvation. He has revealed his righteousness in the sight of the nations. He has remembered his loving kindness, his faithfulness to the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our Elohim. And I just started reading through all this, because I know the word nations, in the whole drama, as I've worked it in the word, the covenant he gave to Abraham, it is so specific in the words being used from clan to nation to world to Eretz, that basically every family, it's so that almost every family on the earth is going to have a real enlightened Ephraimite to lead the way. There will be a light to all whole nations are going to praise and submit to him. So it's macro and it's micro in that covenant. And so in Psalm 9:8, it says, he will judge the world in righteousness. He will execute judgment for the peoples with equity. Psalm 96:3 says, tell of his glory among the nations, his wonderful deeds among all the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. For before the Lord, for he is coming, and he is coming to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in faithfulness. It says in Psalm 22:7, all the ends of the earth will remember and turn to Yahweh. All the families of the nations will worship before you. For the kingdom is the Lord, and he rules over the nations. Psalm 2:8 says, ask of me, and I will surely give you the nations as your inheritance, and the very ends of the earth is your possession. Psalm 66:4. All the earth will worship you, and sing praises to you. They will sing praises to your name. Selah. Psalm 82:8 says, arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for it is you who possess all the nations. And Psalm 86:9, I got three more, just to make my point totally. All nations whom you have made shall come and worship before you, O Elohim, O Lord, and they shall glorify your name. And Psalm 72:8 says, he shall have dominion also from sea to sea, from river to river. And Isaiah caps it off with saying, look to me, and you will be saved, all the ends of the earth. And this is such a large, and a lot of this, in my opinion, he's doing it, and we're not necessarily the greatest help to it, to the cause, so to speak. But Yahweh Elohim is fulfilling, he is so faithful, he is fulfilling his promises. I had a friend come over, my husband and I were entertaining a friend yesterday, and it just all happened. It was very spontaneous. And he's a good friend. He's a financial planner, and we don't have any finances for him to plan for us, but we just get along great. And I was sort of telling him a little bit of this. And sort of trying to explain the house of Israel and how we're not really these Christians, we're really the lost sheep. And he listened. He let me give him this whole spiel. But at the end, and I was saying how that we, especially in America, I think we do represent so many of these promises, this place that he was going to prepare and give us. And he is an economic person, and he was telling me that the economists, when they look at America, especially our early history, they will say that they have all these charts and graphs, and that the way the economy of our nation grew is so exponential. It's never been known in history. It's completely off the charts. We produce this incredible middle class. I'm sure these are things you all know, but when I told him this, and he said, I see it. I see how the blessings of the Lord were on us in this season, these people that he poured out upon us. This incredible, which has blessed the nations. I mean, that's all part of the story. But it was great to see that his heart could see this. And I think that this revelation is really getting ready to be so played out in the nations. So I don't want to digress too much into the specific details, but when Romans 11, when Paul talks about it, he talks about lest you be wise in your own sight. I do not want you to be unaware of this mystery, brothers, and that this is a mystery. How this whole drama in the nations was going to play out. The sages never really had a 100% handle on it. And frankly, in my opinion, by the time Yeshua came, they weren't really that concerned about the Gentiles anymore, or the nations, or even the lost sheep. They were having enough time just defending their little piece of the turf, what they had left remaining in Palestine at the time. But he says that there is a partial hardening that has come upon Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles, the nations, has come in. And in this way, all Israel will be saved. This drama that we as we affect the people around us, as our life is played out individually, corporately, as ministries, as churches, as families, as whatever, that are known to worship the God of Yahweh of Israel. How this is playing into this revelation of this drama, how Yahweh is doing exactly what he said he was going to do, saving the nations, saving out of the nations. Because the flip side is, there will be a great, and I do believe there will be a wrap up to this. I have this, one of the philosophical concepts in the word is this, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, these scenes were big on that dualism of, sons of God, sons of light and sons of darkness. There's this drama being played out, and there's players on each side of it, sort of this dualism, but that it always had an end game. The world always wants to have this, their existential dualism is that, good and evil are just going to go on forever. Yin and yang are going to keep battling it out forever. But that's not what our texts tell us. There is a definite end game. There is a wrap up. And a lot of times while the details are very difficult to figure out they're very, in my opinion, very difficult to figure out and be too dogmatic about. There is going to be a judgment on the nations. There is going to be this great harvest, this planting that he has done for the display of his splendor, but there will also be a great uprooting of those in the nations who just will not get on board, who just don't want to, quote unquote, get on the train. And Elijah, I think this is why Elijah is the great prophet of his attitude towards this whole, which side are you going to come, as Joshua says, as for me and my house, we're going to serve. Yeah, what side are you on? What side are you going to come down on when it's all said and done? Which book is your name going to be in? And Elijah says, come near to, he came near to all the people and he said, how long will you hesitate between two opinions? If Yahweh is Elohim, follow him. But if Baal, follow him. And this is still the great divide, the great question that is out there, that people individually, corporately, nations, all have to decide that question. But on the flip side, you know, I mean, again, the wrap up per se, but the fact that there will be, Zephaniah is a great text, in my opinion, book, and says that, you know, Yahweh says, I will fiercely attack. Then every Elohim on this earth will shrink to nothing, and every one of every nation will bow down to me right where they are. I mean, this is a great statement out of Paul. You know, every knee will bend and every tongue will confess that Yeshua is the Messiah. And this, one of the things that has really revolutionized my understanding of scriptures, and especially again from studying out the angelic, what we can know, because I'll tell you, so it is amazing the amount of information that we can know that our patriarchs totally knew. It's documented all the way from Enoch, you know, to Abraham, to Moshe, to many of the early church fathers. What has been known about the spiritual world that unfortunately has been so lost in the modern, especially Christian world, and in the secular Jews. We've all lost so much. But the gods, and this has really helped me to understand Paul, this has revolutionized my concept of the drama in, like I said, that's being played out. It's not just being played out on earth, it's being played out galactically among the heavenly host. Yeshua said that he made a show of them openly, the heavenly host. This is one of the things that I have learned and discovered, is that it's so, we live in a very populated cosmos, and there's a lot of players, and these angels, these Elohims, as it says in Zephaniah, Yahweh is going to do such a thorough, I believe, harvest, that these Elohims are going to be, as it says here, shrink to nothing. They're almost going to have no followers left. This is the good side. You can look at the cup half full, half empty. But it says that these Elohims, these watcher angels, these are the 70 nations, the 70 angels that were put over the 70 nations. This is something I think we've kind of lost, but this is who we're battling. This is who, when we go out into the nations, we're trying to bring people out from under the power, the dominion, the influence, the mazal, the mindset, and the absolute, really, authority that these angels have over these Gentiles that was once over us. So when you go into that, when in the New International Version of this Zephaniah 2:11 verse, it says, the Lord will be awesome to them when he destroys all the gods of the earth. Distant nations will bow down to him, all of them in their own lands. This is something that I think we're going to see. There's going to be, gets into a lot of, you know, I'm not talking about the eschatological, you know, I guess there's a word, sensationalist of the thing, but there is going to be an end to this that is going to reverberate in all of the dimensions. All the tree are going to clap and bow. It says that every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that on the earth, in the sea, I've always said, what's in the sea? You know, in the heavens and under the earth. These are dimensional places. So it's way bigger than we want to just think of, just us, that we're not the only players here. This thing is going to give him such, and at the wrap up, we will be manifested sons of God, of Yahweh. So we will be able to see this thing with real spiritual vision that will somehow, in my opinion, allow us to see in a physical, spiritual way, if that's such a thing, it can be understood. But It says in Zephaniah 3:8, he says, therefore wait for me, declares the Lord, for the day when I rise up as a witness. Indeed, my decision is to gather nations, to assemble kingdoms, to pour out on them my indignation, all my burning anger, for all the earth will be divided by the fire of my zeal. And it says Psalm 79:6, pour out your wrath upon the nations which do not know you, and upon the kingdoms which do not call upon your name. Jeremiah 10:25 says, pour out your wrath on the nations that do not know you, and on the families that do not call your name, for they have devoured Jacob. They have devoured him and consumed him, and laid waste his habitation. So when there is this huge harvest, there will be a, as I said, a dualism, a wrap up in this, and this goes even back to what Enoch saw and was, the angels, they're keeping the books on everything that's been done. All the people, everyone's whole drama is written in these books, quote unquote, and will all play out before, and it will be a perfectly just. But I guess my thing is sometimes I get so, and I'm not talking about in a sense of evangelism as I was taught it, I don't have to feel so responsible personally. I guess I don't know how to say it. Just that this drama is going to play out. It is going to give him glory. He knows exactly what he's doing. He is caught. And as we look at the earth, I don't even look anymore really, because I have this whole thing. I'm really into how these words are embedded with such deeper meanings, that the literalness of a lot, trying to figure out these literal, that's not really where a lot of the understanding is. It is in the deeper way these words are used to portray this cosmic drama that is going on. And that's why I'm just a little player. I'm a little, it says in some of the writings, we're like little grasshoppers. This is, just like a little grasshopper on this thing. But I know that I have a huge canopy over me, that I'm not going to get squashed per se, but I will be able to engage in this drama, do my part of this drama, and at someday we'll be able to get it and see it truly from such a perspective, such a high place, that we will be praising him forevermore. That just blows my mind, that someone could write a story that will just keep reverberating forever and ever in a vibrational way throughout all eternity. We will forever praise him as for what this great salvation that he did for us. So this is in the writings. So I guess I don't want to teach, because there's a lot of these, the specifics of this thing, but being the generalist that I like to be on some of this, looking at the big picture, understanding how the nations, I guess what it is, instead of looking at all the gloom and doom, and this is part of the whole strategy, to get us to focus on this, focusing so much on the amazing victories of souls that are just, in a way, being pulled out of this great darkness and being placed in such light, and that we can just rest. It helps to put in perspective my little issues that I deal with. And I can stand very clearly as Lawson on his promises that the seed of the righteous will praise him and serve him. So that was sort of my what I just wanted to share. I want to encourage everyone. I know that there's a little bit of a season of toughness that just went through, but that in hindsight, it is always better to look at the cup half full, to understand that he really is doing something that is so large, and that to focus so much on sometimes all the little details takes away from the grandioseness and the true glory of what our Yahweh Elohim is doing for us, and that we just can even have a glimpse of this great work. So on that note, blessings and shalom.
When the ark rested, Moshe said, "Return, O Yahweh, to the 10,000 thousands of Israel." We pray together.
Avinu, Shabashamayim, Yitkadash, Shimcha, Yitbarech, Mahutcha, Ratzoncha, Yihi, Asui, Bashamayim, U'aretz. Betitain, Lachmenu, Tireidit, Umachal, Lanu, Chitotenu, Keasher, Anachnu, Mochalim, Lachotim, Lanu, Ve'al Tiviinu, Lidei Nisayon, Ve'shomrenu, Mikol Ra. Amen.
Our Father in the sky, may your name be sanctified. May your reign be blessed. Your will be done in sky and land. Continually give us our bread. Forgive us our sin debts as we forgive the debts of those who sin against us. Do not bring us into the nets of a snare, and protect us from the evil one. Amen. We minister shalom.
Zetchem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei hamalachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
May your departure be in shalom, Malachim of Shalom, Malachim of the El Elyon, coming forth from the sovereign of sovereigns, the set-apart one. Blessed is he. We sing the song of peace. Shalom, my friends. Shalom to you now. Shalom, my friends. May Yahweh's mercy bless you well, my friends, in all your living and through your loving. Yahweh be your shalom. Shalom, shalom. Yahweh be your shalom. The leader blesses.
Yivarechecha Yahweh ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Yahweh panav elecha v'yihunecha. Yisa Yahweh panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom. Beshem Yahshua HaMoshiach Sar Shalom. Amen.
Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Prince of Peace. Amen.
Amen, amen, amen. Wonderful. Thank you, liturgists. You were great today. Great vision, Liz. It's exciting, exciting, exciting.
Are there any